Hey guys, Jonathan here at Shadow Foam, and this week we're looking at the Milwaukee Packout Drawers. Now this is probably the only alternative, or the only real alternative to the Tough System DeWalt boxes, which we use and we've done a few videos on, because they have a really wide variety of boxes and styles and shapes, so you can make this packout system work for you. Some of the other systems, they only have a box, which, possibly a tall box and a shallow box. Whereas with the Milwaukee Packout system, you've got the drawers. The drawers also come in like a 2-drawer system for 2 deeper drawers. Also, you've got this one, which we've got, the 3-drawer setup. They've got the other boxes, they've got the organisers, they've got a whole host of stuff, which if you want to see those organised, make sure you subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss the future videos, because we've got the full Milwaukee Packout system here. We've done it in the past, you can check those out. We went and organised Milwaukee Dave's boxes, but we've got them all here now, and we're gonna get them all organised on site at Shadow Foam, so we can really dial them in. Now we're starting with the drawer system. Saws in the drawers is the name of the video, because we're gonna be putting in the hacksaw in one of the drawers, the jigsaw in another drawer, and then we're going to be putting a multi-tool in the other drawer. Now, why are we doing that? Well, I think it's a really good use for this box, because every single one of these saws has a bunch of different accessories with it. You've got all the different jigsaw bits you can have for the different, different materials for the jigsaw. The same thing for the hacksaw. And with the multi-tool, you've got a flipping endless amount of attachments, haven't you? And we've got a bunch of different attachments here. So having them in a drawer with all of the accessories with them, I think is a great way of organising your tools, organising your kit. If you had this on a shelf in your van, it's a great place to have these tools. Now we make inserts for these drawers. They come in twin packs. We've got them in all the different colours, 30mm and 50mm. And they are made to slot directly into these drawers with no cutting or trimming required. So we're going to be taking 3 of those, and we're going to be taking our basic cutting kit, which is everything we're going to need to do this job. This is the scalpel, the blades, the anti-cut gloves, there's forceps for putting the blades on the scalpel, sticker and instructions. So all we're going to need to dial these drawers in is the inserts, the cutting kit, and we've got the 3 saws. We've also got all the reset blades, a whole bunch of jigsaw blades of all shapes and sizes, and a mountain of multi-tool bits. So in this video, we won't just get the saws organised, we'll get all that lot organised as well. And that is pretty typical, isn't it? For most toolboxes, you end up with these random packets of like half-used jigsaw bits. I've got a new packet there that I picked up from somewhere. Some of these paper packets, these multi-tool bits, they come in all different shapes and sizes. We've got a couple of pretty cool ones. This is a Saxton, like deep reach multi-tool bit. We've also got one here that we tried to cut foam with. This is by Smart. Cuts insulation board great, doesn't cut shadow foam very well. But you end up with all of these, and I think getting them in the drawer inserts in this drawer unit is going to keep it perfectly organised. So let's get into it. Right, so that is the layout done. Take a photo, top tip. This has taken me probably about as much time as it would take me to do the cutting, to be fair. Just getting everything lined up nicely, all organised. And also, I want to maximise the space. I don't want to spread things out unnecessarily. So you might see a few new additions. I've added a torch because this didn't have another place to live. And I may as well get it in the drawer. There was space for it because I put all of the jigsaw bits in this little tin. Labelled it up jigsaw bits, so there's no confusion. I'll put that there, and I will put a little finger pull next to it, but I don't want to leave it there. I've still got a space in the drawer, so we're going to stick the torch in there. I'm also going to do a little long slot here, which can be for any oversized jigsaw bits. I've got a couple of these by Bosch, these little foam bits, which do cut this foam quite well. It's just hard to keep it true. It's hard to keep, it kind of wanders off because it's so long. So it's something I picked up. Like everyone, you buy these jigsaw bits, cutting bits, reset bits, multi-tool bits. They might work for the job, they might not, but you're never going to throw them away, and you never know what the next job you might need them on. So I've got to keep them. They can go in that box, and they'll have a little slot there. This drawer, we've got the hacksaw, we've got 2 batteries. I've got this tube. Now this came with the Morse blades, which are American made. It was 15 quid a set from CEF, which is on my local electrical wholesaler, and it came with a tube. So all of the other blades fit in there, and then next to that I'll do a long slot for some of these other longer blades as well. So we've kind of got the bases covered there. I had a bit of spare space, I had a spare tape measure. It's like anything, I've got loads of spare tools hanging around. Who wouldn't want an extra tape measure in that drawer? I think that's not a bad shout. And then over here, I've put all of the multi-tool attachments. So we've got the sanding heads, and then I'm gonna be cutting these quite deep so I can put the sanding pads underneath. Because if I'm gonna need the sanding pad, I'm gonna need the the plate to mount it on. So they'll all go together. Then I've stacked up all of the same blades. So here I've got a whole stack of the same thing, and I'll just do them in a pile. So you might look at that and think I could probably condense that down more, but all of these are going to be set up in a way that can have a stack of them. So if I do start using some of these a bit more commonly, I can get a stack of them. I probably could put a few on the side potentially if I wanted more space, but I think for now that'll do. Let me know in the comments if you're looking at this layout and you're thinking I'm missing something, or you've got some attachments that go with these saws and I've not included them. Let me know. I read every comment. I love seeing your guys' messages in the comments below. So with all that being said, that's it, isn't it? Let's get cutting. And that is all done. That was pretty good. And I think I did that pretty quickly too. Matt, how long did that take?
That took 46 minutes
and
21 seconds.
Bang, that is it. I thought it felt less than an hour. 15 minutes per drawer. I probably spent 20-25 on the last one, which was the multi-tool drawer. And I'm really happy with that. That's pretty average, really. If you get pretty handy with it, like me, I do cut a lot of foam, it shouldn't really take more than half an hour to do a drawer like that. And what we've done is we've literally placed the items where we wanted to go. A couple of items, like this hacksaw, is really, you can see the depth of that. I've cut all the way through the foam. Make sure you've got a cutting mat to protect the surface you're working on. Make sure you've got your glove on, because it's very easy when you're cutting all the way through to kind of spike it through and cut yourself, so you don't want to do that. The anti-cut gloves are great for that, make sure you're wearing them. And then for some of the smaller items, like this tube of reset blades, hacksaw blades, we've just cut all around the tube and then peeled it back. Just push your finger down one end and then peel it back towards you. So it's a dead simple process for cutting shadow foam. It's literally cut and peel, cut around the item, peel back the foam. We've also added finger pulls to everything because these inserts are to make your life easier, not more difficult. We don't want all the items jammed in there so tightly that it's making it more difficult. So we use one of our stencil sets, and they have a radius gauge in there, so you can do corner radiuses for cases, or for if you're making flight case inserts, you need to usually radius the corners. And then there's two stencils in there for circles, from small ones all the way up to like 50mm, 60mm circles. And we use that to just put semicircles on a lot of the items. So on the hacksaw here, we've just put one next to the trigger, just to make that dead easy to get out. We've not had to do it with the batteries because they're standing proud of the foam, so they're nice and easy to get out. We've put one on the end of this tube. On all of the multi-tool bits though, we just did a ruler's width, little channel across a couple of the items. Because we've got so many items in here, having semicircles everywhere would have looked like a dog's dinner, and doing it this way just looks nice and tidy. So that's all three of them done. I'm really pleased with them. Everything is categorized nicely. We've got the jigsaw with everything for the jigsaw, multi-tool with everything that needs, hacksaw with the blades, batteries. Let's get them in the box. So that's it. We showed you the saws, we showed you the drawers, and that is mission accomplished. Saws in the drawers. I think we've delivered on what we promised it, and I'm loving this, you know. I think this is a really good addition to a pack out stack. If you've got your rolling box, you've got this on top of it. Obviously it doesn't have to be these three saws, but even if it was these three saws, you've got space for the multi-tool, all of the bits. You've got space for your jigsaw and all of the bits. And you could probably change this up, make it better. Love to hear your ideas on how we could, you know, level this up. All I would want to do now is add a box on top, a roll cab below, a couple of the organisers, and get a full pack out stack organised. And if you like the sound of that, make sure you subscribe, click the bell icon, because we've got loads of Milwaukee videos coming. We've got loads on the channel, so head back and check those as well if you've missed them. Playlists up here. We've got loads of stuff for you to go and watch. Thanks very much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.